Assalamu alaikum, everybody. How are you? Alhamdulillah, I am good and I hope that you people are good too. So, this is Atik Yunusevan and I am welcoming you in the next session of Planswift estimation. And if I just give you a summary of our previous sessions, you can see my screen and you can see that I have performed the estimation of excavation, and then we have the PCC over that excavation, and then we will be having concrete footing and retaining walls. So actually not the retaining wall, footing of retaining walls. So what basically we are going to do in today's session, actually in today's session, like in the previous session, we are going to discuss about the details which we have in the concrete. So if I talk about concrete, so we all know that concrete is consisting of three main components most of the time, and those components are cement, sand and aggregate. So these are the three constituents of concrete which we mostly use in it. But that is the whole another discussion, that sometimes we are going to use any admixture in it. We need to get the quantity of that admixtures in as well. But in today's session, what I'm going to do, that I'm going to find out that how much constituents of that concrete we are going to need in our estimate. So if we talk about the PCC, we will be going to have cement, sand and aggregate in PCC, and in concrete footing we are going to have cement, sand and concrete as well. But as this is reinforced concrete, we will be going to have the steel bars in it as well. But I have decided that in today's lecture or in today's session, we will be only performing and we will be only getting the quantities of cement, sand and aggregate, while in the next session I will be going to discuss that how we will be going to get the quantity of steel bars in reinforced concrete footing, this reinforced concrete. Let's jump directly and we will be going to see that how much concrete we are going to need for this PCC. This is the all PCC we are going to have. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I am going to get the sum of these all quantities, right? So this is the sum of the PCC which we are going to be needed in our project. So if I just write total lean work or total PCC work, so this much cubic foot we will be going to need. So what next, let me add few rows in it so that we can easily understand. Now we know that we will be going to have three main components: cement, sand and aggregate. So if I just organize my sheet, I'm going to keep them on the right side. So what in which units we are going to need cement? So we are going to need the cement in terms of bags or in unit of bags, while sand we are going to have in unit of sekra, and in going to aggregate we are going to have the same unit. So that unit depends upon your locality or in which area you are performing the estimate. But as I'm in Pakistan, we will be calculating these units in the we will be calculating those quantities in these units. So now we will be going to need, so the one thing which we have understand is the mix of concrete. So normally we will be going to have 1, 4 and 8, 1:4:8 PCC work in our construction. So what we normally do, because in the quantities of these constituents we will be going to need the ratio. So for the cement ratio, we know that for calculation of cement we will be going to need the total cubic foot and then we will be going to multiply the ratio of cement in the whole mix, which is 1, and finally we are going to divide it with the total sum of the ratio, which is in this case 1 plus 4 5 plus 8 13. So we will be going to get the number of bags. So this much number of bags, actually no, not this much bags. This will be going to give us the cubic foot of the bags. So we know that in one cement bag is equal to 1.25 cubic foot. So that is actually going to give us the number of cement bags. So 57, or if you add the wastage, so it will be going to 63. But we have heard about the wet mix and the dry mix. So it is a phenomena that in which our quantities is going to increase when they are going to be mixed with water. So if I'm talking about the dry mix, then this quantity is okay, but we will be going to need the exact quantity. So for that we will be needing to multiply this whole quantity with a factor, and normally for wet mixtures we will be going to have the ratio of 1. Normally our ratio varies from 40% to 60%. So for our safety purposes I am going to take it on the upper end, that is 60%. So I have multiplied my whole quantity with 1.6, so that is more 60% more quantity. So this is how we are going to calculate the quantities of cement, sand and aggregate. So if I repeat the same process for the sand, so we will be going to see that first of all we will be going to have 60% for the wet mix, and secondly we will be going to have the cubic foot of that PCC, and thirdly we are going to multiply the portion in the mix, which is 4, and finally we are going to divide it with the whole numbers. So what it going to give us, it is going to give me 459 cubic foot. But again 1 sacra is equal to 100 cubic foot, so we are going to divide it with 100, so that we are going to get the unit of sacra. So we have seen that we will be going to need 5 sacra of sand and 101 bags of the cement for 933 cubic feet of PCC work. So finally we are going to repeat the same process for aggregate, which is going to be 60% for the wet mix, and again we are going to have the total cubic foot, and the portion of the aggregates in our mix is 8, so we are going to divide it with the sum of the mix, and finally for the sacra we are going to divide it with 100. So we see that we are going to need 101 bags for this much cubic foot of the PCC, and followed by the 5 and 10 sacra of sand and aggregate respectively. So this is the level of detail which I was discussing in our previous session, that how we are going to calculate these small units of estimation. So if I go ahead and I calculate the constituent of this concrete work except rebars, which I'm going to discuss in the next session, I'm going to repeat the same process, that I'm going to get the total concrete work. So this is going to be sum of this concrete. So if I'm going to add it, just going to copy and paste the units, and finally I'm going to paste these items over here because we are going to need the same. So normally for structural members we are going to use 1:2:4. So 1:4 ratio we are going to use in our concrete structure works. So what we have to do, we are going to use the same 1.6 for the wet mix, and again we are going to have this much cubic foot, but this time we are going to have the sum is equal to 7 because 1 2 4 gives us 7. So this is going to change our quantity to 424 bags, and same we are going to have 2 portion of sands in 7 portion of the mix, so it is going to give us 11 sekra, and finally we are going to have 4 in 7 portions, which is going to give us 21. So this is how we are going to calculate the cement, sand and aggregate of the concrete works. I believe this is all for today's session, and now the time has come where we need your support, and we are going to ask you whether you have liked or disliked my video. I would personally and I would suggest you that go like the button if you like my videos, and if you don't like my videos, it's okay, you can press the dislike button as well. So this is all. Finally, thank you very much for staying with me, for staying from the start. Keep supporting like this, and share my videos with your friends and ask them to subscribe me as well. Thank you very much. I'm going to see you in the next video. Tata.